doctor rubbed her belly with jelly and pressed a cup to her skin. She strained to see the gray mass moving about on the little black and white screen. After a time, the doctor nodded and pointed at something. Xiaolin saw only a smudge. The doctor said the smudge was a girl. She had an abortion while her husband waited in the hallway outside. She closed her eyes to the cold steel and the doctor's rough hands and told herself it was the best thing. But the ultrasound fooled the doctor. The dead child was a boy. Her husband went crazy with grief and anger. He left without her, left her alone on the table. For a whole week, her mother-in-law wouldn't let her into the house, so she slept in the straw near the sun-warmed mud walls outside, next to the goats and the sheep. The next time, she left home to have the baby alone. The child was born in an orange grove beneath a bright sun and cried loudly through strong lungs. When Xiaolin saw it was another girl, she thought about killing herself with the knife she'd used for the cord. It seemed the only way. She couldn't let the child destroy their family, their lives. She couldn't keep it, and she couldn't kill it. If she abandoned it, she might spend years in prison. Xiaolin thought of her cousin in Suzhou. She was shunned by the family, rumored to be a woman who knew the night streets. To Xiaolin it didn't matter. She needed help, and there was nowhere else to turn. She wrapped the child in warm blankets and walked down the path to the big road where a farmer gave her a ride on the back of his wagon. He smiled broadly at the child. "A blessing," he said. As they bounced along country roads, the baby fed at her breast and then slept. Xiaolin saw she was beautiful, but tried not to look at her face because it was too difficult to look away again. She covered the child and stared dully out at the passing cabbage fields. She spent the night at Shangang town and caught a bus the next morning. Suzhou was crowded, everything fast and frightening. She had an address. She hunched over as she wandered the streets, trying to hide her baby, her crime, from view. Whenever she saw a policeman, she turned away, terrified that somehow he might see into her heart and know her intentions. But no one stopped her. No one challenged her. Finally, a shopkeeper pointed the way. Her cousin was a weary, kind woman who was surprised and pleased to see her. If she was a whore, Xiaolin saw no sign of it. The woman listened sympathetically as Xiaolin unburdened herself. "I do know a man," she said. He arrived that afternoon. His face was fleshy and pockmarked. He wore a baggy western suit and smelled of fish. Xiaolin disliked him instinctively. When he stripped the child naked to examine her, Xiaolin's resolve nearly collapsed. She reached for the child, but her cousin restrained her. "There is no choice better than this one," she whispered. The man looked up. "I'll go if you want," he said. "But if you leave her on the steps of the hospital, we'll get her anyway. This way there's something in it for you." "What will happen to her?" "She'll live," he said simply. Satisfied with the child, the man wrapped her once again in blankets. He did it quickly, without tenderness. He took a wad of bills from his pocket and peeled off a few. He thrust them at Xiaolin. Without thinking, she started to reach for them, then faltered, horrified and ashamed. He tossed the bills onto the floor at her feet. He grunted a goodbye to Xiaolin's cousin. As he opened the door, a lusty wail erupted from the blanket. He paid no attention. The door closed behind him. Sobbing uncontrollably, Xiaolin slumped to the floor. Her cousin picked up the bills and put them in a drawer. Xiaolin sat on the floor until dusk. Several times she retched, needing to throw up, but nothing would come. She declined her cousin's offer for a meal and a night's rest. When she was strong enough, she stood up. She fled from the house and into the night. That night a phone rang at a walled compound outside Suzhou. "Wei?" "I have another one," said the man with the pockmarked face. "Off the books." "Yes?" "This one is perfect, only 2 days old. Healthy and well-formed. Her mother was exquisite."